The July 29th, 2024 meeting of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Bartholomew McCoy. Here. Ms. Bartholomew McCoy is present. Chairman Blankley.
Here.
Chairman Blankley is present. Mr. Johns. Here. Mr. Johns is present. Mr. Long. Here. Mr. Long is present. Ms. McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre is present.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
No, there is not.
Is there anyone present this evening who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Seeing none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the June 24th, 2024 minutes of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 24-0239, acceptance of a grant from the New York State Department of Health and authorize an intermunicipal agreement with the City of Rochester for the lead rental registry program.
Moved by Legislator Long, seconded by Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Through the chair, which part of the City of Rochester is identified as at risk of lead exposure?
Through the chair, the entire City of Rochester is considered at risk, but are you asking for high risk?
Yeah.
Okay. High risk, it is actually based off of census tracts for this particular grant. I don't have those exact ones, but I can give you the zip codes. That it's not the full zip code, but the general areas, 14604, 05, 08, 11, 19, 06, 09, 13, and 21. But again, it's mostly the crescent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Referral carries. Next item.
Referral 24-0241, acceptance of a grant from the New York State Department of Health and authorize intermunicipal agreements for the tobacco enforcement program.
Moved by Legislator Long, seconded by Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Through the chair, can we get a list of exactly how much each town or department is getting in funding from this grant?
Through the chair, yes, I can provide that information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Referral carries. Next item.
Referral 24-0243, authorize an intermunicipal agreement with the Schuyler County for special detail deputies at Watkins Glen International.
Moved by Legislator Long, seconded by Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Through the chair, will moving these deputies to help with Schuyler County affect the staffing and or leave us with a shortage of officers for Monroe County's needs?
Mr. Chairman, let us see if someone from the Sheriff's Department is here to answer that.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll just take a moment.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I believe there's no one here from the Sheriff's Department to answer that.
Understood. Thank you. Is there a way to liaise with the deputies, the Sheriff's Department in order to get a response to the legislator's question?
Yeah, we definitely can do that. I believe this is on Ways and Means, or it's on Public Safety and Ways and Means. So I'm sure that will come up, and we can also make a note to get an answer to you as part of our memo that we send for full ledge through the chair.
Very well. Thank you. Is that sufficient, legislator?
And also through the chair, just as a follow-up question to that, when it's sent through, how are the deputies chosen that will be doing this? Is it by volunteering, or is there another selection method? So that when they get us that information, if they can also include that as a question.
Understood. I think we can work to relay both those questions and make sure they come up in the other committees and they're responded to by the Sheriff's Department.
And one other question through the chair. Has Schuyler County approved this IMA yet?
Again, Mr. Chair, we will have an answer for that by full edge. And again, I would anticipate they'll be here tomorrow night.
Understood. Thank you.
You?
Thank you, legislator. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Referral carries. Next item. Yes, Legislator Long.
I'd like to make a motion that we,
Can we just list out those referral numbers for the record?
it's 24-0244, 5, 0246, 7, 02.
I have a motion on the table to move the next, those listed items as one. Did I hear a second? Yes. A second from Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre?
I have one question as a general, well, actually two questions in general. Is it going to be possible to ask those questions if we move these as one?
Yes, this would be the opportunity.
Perfect. Oh, can I ask them now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought we were just voting on whether to move them as one or not. Okay, perfect. Through the chair, how much time is saved on average with having the school's gasoline accessible compared to when they're not available?
Legislator, I'm going to guess that that's another question for the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
Who is not present to respond, but we'll add it to our list.
Perfect. Then I will move all of these questions to the other committees that it is referring to.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? All right, moving the next 244 through 249 as one. On the motion to move the next items as one, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Items carry. Next item.
Referral 24-0257, authorize an intermunicipal agreement with the City of Rochester to provide tracking, oversight, and evaluation services regarding the Raise Commission's recommendations.
Moved by Legislator Long, seconded by Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Through the chair, how much of this IMA agreement do we expect to be funded by in-kind donations?
Through the chair, the $50,000 will be a financial contribution. The in-kind services are county staff time, which is in addition to the $50,000.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Referral carries. Next item.
That's the agenda.
Six up. Hold with us one moment.
Referral 24-0260, authorize appropriation transfers, intermunicipal agreements, and grant contracts pursuant to the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA.
Moved by Legislator Long, seconded by Legislator Bartholomew McCoy. Is there any discussion? Legislator Johnson.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chairman, and to the administration. This is a general question on all of these senior centers, libraries, all that. How will this be divided up? Will it be divided up in towns based on population? So, as an example, Greece is double the size of Webster, so they would get twice as much. How will that be divided up?
Mr. Chairman, yes, the idea behind this would be that the senior and youth center funding would be distributed on a population basis.
One more follow-up to the administration. Also with the library as well, based on population?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no, the library funding is programmatic funding, and then that would be distributed based on need, and also the library would be working on an internal plan to make sure that there was appropriate representation for all areas of the county as part of that program.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Legislator McIntyre?
Through the chair, how will these IMAs be monitored?
Through the chair, the IMAs, the municipalities would be beneficiaries under ARPA, and they would be monitored as beneficiaries by the ARPA team. And that would include reviewing vouchers when they're submitting them for reimbursement, as well as getting some reporting on the successes of the programs.
And through the chair, will the towns be, with the veteran senior access pilot, will the towns be involved in participating in these programs?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the intent of that program is we plan on having a permanent location on the east side of the county, and then a permanent location on the west side of the county where these services are provided. What the intent of this would be, the people who work in these offices and provide these services, if somebody was unable to travel to either of the locations, we would be able to send people out to their homes. Right now, in our discussions with our Office of the Aging, we have had some services pushed out into the senior centers, but we felt, and again, that would still be available, but that would not be the primary way we would deliver these services. The utilization, frankly, wasn't quite what we had hoped for under that model. If there was a demand for that, we would still provide that service, but the intent would be to have these services in a location, and then with these programs, there would be an advertising component so that veterans and seniors would be aware of these programs. Our intent is to have them in areas where there's higher traffic, so that they're more out in the community, so people are aware that these services are available. And again, if there was a need for home visitation for any of these programs, that would be available as well.
I yield.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Referral carries. Are there any other matters to come before the Intergovernmental Relations Committee? Seeing none, there being no other matters, the July 29th, 2024 meeting of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Intergovernmental Relations